Hi, I'm Jamie. I live in Seattle and I take my two dogs, Ember and Ash, on weekly adventures in the mountains. I hike, camp, and road trip only to places where I can bring my two favorite travel buddies. This hike was the start of a mini road trip around Oregon. I backpacked up to a ridge that had a breathtaking view of Mount Hood, with St Helens, Rainier, and Adams in the distance. Hi, welcome back. This trip I had gone a little further than I usually do. I tend to plan my trips around the weather, and there was a perfect few days down in Oregon that were basically summer-like conditions, and I couldn't pass them up. So I planned a spontaneous road trip, and I hope you enjoy. Here you go. As I was planning, I picked out a few hikes as options, but mainly left any plans super flexible. I knew I wanted to start near Mount Hood and then make my way down and explore Bend a little bit. I set up the back of my Crosstrek for camping, packed a day pack and an overnight pack, and then hit the road. My first stop was to the McNeil Point Trailhead. From Seattle, it's a 4-hour drive, or only an hour and a half from Portland. The drive includes going up bumpy forest roads, which are best suited for high-clearance vehicles. This trail is in the Mount Hood National Forest, so Northwest Forest Pass, or America the Beautiful Pass, is needed before heading up there. This trail is great for several reasons, one of them being that the beginning of the trail weaves in and out along a ridge, where you'll mostly be under tree cover, but will get the occasional stunning view of Mount Hood. I recommend downloading the AllTrails map for this. It takes you on the best, most direct route, and it can be pretty easy to take a different trail and end up somewhere entirely different. I helped a couple of other hikers while I was on this trail, and I would have been just as lost as them had I not had this map. As I approached McNeil Point, I took the more moderate climb up, which swung around into meadows and had views the entire way up. I didn't see the hut on the way up, as I wanted to get higher up on the ridge, since the sun was starting to set. I didn't make it all the way to the top, but I made it short before the final approach. I took the first campsite I could find just underneath the final approach. It was nearly dark as I set up camp, and I was too distracted by my hunger to get much footage. I spent the night doing my usual activity of reading and sipping on whatever beverage I brought. The temperatures dipped into the 30s, so it was a chilly night, nothing unbearable, but uncomfortable enough where I vowed it would be my last backpacking trip of the year. I woke up to completely clear conditions and with enough energy to tackle the rest of the ridge up to Ho Rock. I'm so glad I didn't attempt this part the night before, because it was steep. But there is one very special camping spot up there if you're up for the challenge. It's nearly entirely enclosed by Ho Rock, giving just enough of an opening to view Mount Hood in all her glory. The end of the trail on this ridge brings you right up to Mount Hood, and hot damn, it was the most incredible sight to start my day with. On my way down, I stopped by one of the biggest attractions of this hike, the hut. It's a super solid structure that has a little fireplace and a candle holder, which sounds cute, but still felt pretty creepy. There are a few other campsites near the hut that are also great places to set up camp. I'd rate them second to the Whole Rock spot that's at the very top, but these spots are much easier to carry an overnight pack to. From the hut, there are two options to hike back down. There's the moderate way that I'd come up, or a much steeper, more direct route. I took the steeper one and regretted it the entire way down. I feel like it saved maybe a little bit of time, but this way doesn't give you any views, and it's the kind of steep where you're half sliding down the whole time. When I got back to the trailhead, the parking was much more full. For being a weekday, I was pretty surprised how much of it was overflowing. There really isn't much parking available for how popular this trail is. If you can't get a spot in the lot, then you have to park on the already narrow forest road, so be sure to get in early. I couldn't have asked for a better way to kick off this trip. I typically only see Mount Hood off in the distance when I'm doing my hikes in Washington, so I tend not to think too much about it. It was really cool getting to see it this up close and personal. It's definitely inspired me to maybe one day summit it, maybe in the near future. We'll see, but until then, I have 2 other hikes that I did on this trip, and I'll be posting those videos soon, so hang tight for those. Till then, see ya!